It's crazy walking here.
How did you meet Mike? How did you actually hook up with him?
He had gone to MCAD for a year, and we had mutual friends, and it was through music. You know, like I don't want to get into it completely, but there was a little bit of music sharing going on there, and
so he was an MCAD kid.
Yeah, he was MCAD for a year, and so.
Is he from here? Is he from this part of the world?
No, he's from Tennessee.
Yeah, and he lived in Baltimore for a while, correct?
Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah, good old Baltimore.
But then The Wire came out, and it was no longer hip to live in Baltimore, so we had to leave.
Yeah, it wasn't cool anymore.
So, of all the stuff that you've been doing online, the books, the fonts, and the footage stuff is actually the stuff I've been pretty interested in.
Definitely.
What's the mix of the stuff that you like the best, or what segment of all those different products you're selling is the stuff that you think is the coolest?
Well, I mean, I've always liked the books a lot. You know, I've always been a big book collector, but I think, you know, lately the typefaces, I mean, it seems with typefaces you kind of go hot and cold. It's either you really like it or you'd never want to see another typeface for a while.
Are you still making quite a few fonts?
Oh, yeah. I have, gosh, I've been making more lately than I ever have in my life. So.
Is that your first and best love?
Yeah. I love type. I mean, that's how I got into design. I mean, that's how I really got into design.
I've noticed that the guys who really get into making fonts continually stay fans of typography.
You have to.
Like, I mean, obviously, I got into font design ever so briefly, just because I was a real fan of it. But I know the guys, because honestly, if you're going to keep selling fonts, like you really have to love it. Like you really have to love it, almost to the point of something really weird inside your brain, because the margins get real thin, and it can be really, you know.
They're probably not even getting us, but yeah,
no, actually,
the really weird inside your brain part.
Yeah, I like they still get it. But you know, obviously watching Shank and the other font guys that I know who have gone up and down with font sales, and have continued to go through it. Another thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, except you and me and a few other folks, is like all just the typographic talent that lives in Minneapolis.
Tons of typographic talent.
I mean, I honestly, it's still kind of a mystery to me how that actually happened, because there's obviously you, Shank, Process Type, and then a million other guys you don't even hear of, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, there's Matt Desmond.
I know Matty. Yeah. There's Matty.
There's Joe Kroll. I'm trying to think, you know, gosh, there's a lot more. Mark Simonson?
I don't know if I know him.
Yeah. He's really...
Is it cool stuff?
Yeah, he's really talented.
So on the whole, like, or on the average, how many fonts do you think you bust out in a month? Or
I've been trying to do... I bet you I've been doing 2 a month.
Really?
And I've been working on more than that a month. I probably have like... I've been helping Travis a lot with his typefaces as well. So, I mean, a lot of that, it takes up a lot of my time as well. I mean,
explain who Travis is again. Travis is your
Travis
associate
is, and he works with me. It's Travis Stearns.
He's a typographer as well.
All right. So, yeah, that's who Travis is. He took off.
Yeah, wisely.
To avoid the filming. I'm still calling him out, though. You want to pause?
I actually kind of like the dead space.
We could, sit in the corners.
How'd you meet Travis?
Travis, I had actually seen his work online, and you want to keep on going?
Yeah, keep going.
This is going to be hilarious.
Was he a local guy, or did he move here?
He was living in, I think, North Carolina for a bit, and he had gone to college there.
Can you really call that living, Mike? Really? Can you call that living? Yeah, our geography might be off on that. Well, the technology triangle in North Carolina has produced all these crazy, weird anomalies, and I think good design is one of them.
It's beautiful there. I mean, it's really beautiful there.
Well, as we're walking in now, we're walking into both you work for them and we work for them, the studio in Northeast Minneapolis. We're going to take a moment now and shed our outerwear.
I mean, that's the one thing that when we started hiring more people or get more people on, you thought, how can you do that? You know, how can you be sitting in a nice chair and then? So that's like the most
long-term health investment.
Oh yeah,
long-term health investment for you and employees.
When you sit on your butt, 10 hours a day.
Yeah, and you're going to do it again the next day.
Yeah.
We were just talking a little bit about silk screening in Minneapolis, because it's something that maybe we even kind of now take for granted, which is unfortunate, because it wasn't like this way 10 years ago, and it wasn't this way 15 years ago. There's a really weird and wonderful thing that I've seen and witnessed and kind of been a part of. When I was in high school and college, I silk screened a lot. Like all the flunkies from Morehead State silk screened all the time. We had to, because that's how we got our portfolios done. This is before digital imaging technology. But Minneapolis is blessed with a bunch of amazing, really great silk screen shops like Burlesque, Aesthetic Apparatus, Amy Jo, and probably a few more that I don't know about. But you've watched that kind of take place around here. And why do you think it happened? I mean, why do you think it took root here?
I mean, I think just the advertising background, like you know a lot about that. But it just kind of has always been a design hub. I don't know. I think like the fact that Aesthetic Apparatus moved here, and then half of Burlesque was in St. Louis, Mike Davis, and then he moved here, and so I mean, it's just kind of like this. Seems like those kind of stars aligned properly, and yielded great screen printing results. And
it might actually be reflective on some of the stuff that's behind us here that actually might be something we sort of miss from time to time. It's a very purchasable thing.
Yes.
Like I don't buy $1,000 sculptures, and I don't buy $10,000 paintings because I can't. I really just I can't do that. But I can buy a $50 print, and I'll get years and years of enjoyment on my wall, like the one that's behind you, which I noticed earlier. And Steve, if you can get a pan of that real quick, that's a print from who? That's
Siri Pop, I think, or Siri Pop, I think, or Siri Graph. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Siri Pop. Now that I think about it again.
But I will certainly put $50 down for that, and it's really, that's cool.